Hello everyone. In this video, I will show you this API which I created in Django. So this API is inspired by Myntra.com. It uses a dataset which has data from this website called Myntra.com. It is one of the most popular websites for shopping fashion related items. So I got this dataset from Kaggle.com, and there was a lot of data in the dataset. So basically, I condensed a lot of data. Let's say, for example, if the dataset had 500k entries, so I condensed them to only 10k entries, and which can be easily done through pandas. This is the condensed file which you see on this application numbers. So this has fields like name, images, price, discount, seller, the product URL. So I have basically turned this into an API using Django. This is the API. You can see the total count of items. It's around 10,000. Each page has a maximum of 50 items. So I would be talking about my approach, how I started building this API. So after getting the data, the second step was to perform data cleaning. I identify the fields which I want to have in the database. So after identifying those fields, I turned those fields into individual columns of the table. So I wanted to have product ID, title, link, price, MRP, brand, rating. So I created this model called items by inheriting this models.model class from Django. I also have authentication enabled by extending this abstract base user class from Django. And then I defined serializer. Serializers are basically used to define what fields you want to have in the API in the form of JSON. So for example, in this custom user serializers, I want these fields to be displayed: username, email, ID, as a staff. And for items, I basically want all those fields. But in case I only wanted to have selected fields, selected columns, I could have listed those selected columns here, and I would be only be getting those columns in the API only. And then I have this URLs and the views. So for creating the views, I have used a class-based API views which Django REST framework has. So views like list API view, create API view. So these simplify creating API views a lot. So it's only like a couple of lines of code. Plus, if you want to modify your query set, you can have certain methods which you can override. So for example, in this method get query set, I wanted to have only select those items whose price is greater than the price provided in case it was passed as a query param. So I am in Postman now. I am just hitting this URL for items. So in case I passed price as a parameter and gave a value of 5,000, so it would only filter items whose price is greater than 5,000. So if I remove this filter and filter again, so we are also getting items whose price is less than 5,000, which was a value used in the earlier search filter. So the point is you can have this method which you can override to have some sort of custom filtering on your query set. If you don't have this custom filtering, then basically all the results from the API would be fetched. I also have pagination applied. So a maximum of I think 50 items I'm currently displaying, but let me check once. For pagination, I have this settings in the REST framework. The page size by default is 50. So if I change this page size to 10 and I test this in Postman again, so I would only be getting 10 items. To populate the data, I have used something called management commands. So I have this folder called management inside API. Inside management, I have two commands inside this folder called commands. So one is clear.py and the other is populate.py. So basically inside populate.py, I am reading the data which is inside this data folder called Myntra.csv. So if I inspect inside data, we have this file Myntra.csv which acts as a source to populate the database. Management commands are I think a very cool feature in Django. So it's just like you type manage.py run server. You can also run management commands using manage command. So if I want to let's say clear the database just for experimenting, I can type in here so we see the data is getting deleted. So let me run the API again. So we just ran the management command to clear all the data, and as you can see if we now hit the API, we are not getting any results. So let's just populate the data. So data is in process of getting saved. We take data from the CSV file and then we create a model for each of the rows we have in CSV file and then save it in the database. So now if we hit the API again, we can see the data as before. So we deleted the data using the clear command and then we populated it again using the populate management command. So yeah, that's how useful management commands could be. Currently I am on this documentation URL. So the documentation for this API has been generated using this package called DRF Spectacular. So you can refer the documentation and have some settings in the settings.py, and it's really straightforward to get started with Swagger based documentation for your Django APIs. So if I try to say this get API, I can test it here itself. Let's click on try it out. As you can see, I am getting the results from the API on this URL itself. So Swagger docs are really cool. I would just take a moment to talk about the database which I have used in this application. So I'm using PostgreSQL. This PostgreSQL database is running inside a Docker container using port 32768. So let me just show you. I have opened this tool called Docker Desktop on my Mac. I don't know if it is available for Windows or Linux, but it is a very good GUI based tool to handle Docker containers, images and volume. Right now, as you can see in the running containers, I have this container running and it exposes port 32768. It basically maps this port to 5432, which is the default port for Postgres. So if I stop this I expect the database or the Django application in general to throw some error because the database which was powering it has been switched off now. I'm restarting my server. So as you can see, it gives us as an error like connection refused. So nothing is running on port 32768. Obviously, we just stopped the Docker container which was running on this port. So let's just restart it again. I am back in my Docker desktop and let me just start this. So it has been restarted. If I now restart server, let's hit the API again. Now we are able to get the data. So that brings me towards the end of this video. I have attached the link of the GitHub repository in the video description, so please check that out. And if you did get some valuable information from this video, please consider liking it. Have a comment if you have some queries, and please subscribe to my channel for more tech and programming related contents like this. So it really helps for us content creators. It's kind of acts as a fuel to keep us motivated to produce more videos like this. So yeah, it's much appreciated. Again, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.